also your social media influencer and a small YouTuber. Now plainly with the health science related to the flow of the production of testosterone. Okay, so I need to draw now. So, but before that, mga palangga, so we have the formula, the chemical formula. Okay? Asan ito kung chemical formula. Okay. Chemical formula of testosterone, like that. Okay? This is 19 atoms of carbon, 28 atoms of hydrogen, and 2 atoms of oxygen. Okay? So, now it's related to the cholesterol, okay? 27 atoms of carbon, hydrogen 46 atoms, and there is an imbalanced oxygen. There's no atom in the oxygen here, something like that, okay? To the point. We don't have to draw the chemical structures because I already presented that last 2 days ago in my vlogging also, right? So let's proceed now. So what I'm trying to emphasize that we cannot obtain testosterone if we don't have the cholesterol as our raw material. So this is our raw material or our precursor. Okay? Precursor to produce testosterone, something like that. Okay? So that's very clear. So this is gonna be cholesterol that will produce testosterone, and this cholesterol is basically coming from the fat or a lipid. Okay, something like that. Okay, a fat or a lipid, mga palangga. Okay, get the point. So it's gonna be like that. So let's proceed now for the flow chart. Okay, how can we obtain testosterone? Without testosterone, okay, then how can the people multiply? Something like that, because this is related to reproduction, okay, creating newborn babies, something like that, in order they will become our future leaders globally in different continents all over the world. Okay, so of course we will multiply. That's why we have really the family as the basic unit of the society, and the family composed of children, and children will not be produced if there will be no intersexual union between the father and the mother, something like that. You get the point. And if the testosterone will not be released during the intersexual union between the husband and the wife, then there will be no children as also. So the world is not sprouting, and the world will not become beautiful if there is only one person existing in the planet Earth. And that could no longer be happening, okay, because we are now huge in the planet Earth. Okay, something like that. So, this is really, we need to understand. Okay, so basically, you cannot produce babies without testosterone. You will not create a family without a testosterone, because this is really an androgen. Okay, an androgen plus the testosterone is equal to the sperm cell. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, so it will unite to the female sex hormone. Okay, if there's no female sex hormone also, then there will be no babies arise or produce. Get the point? It's gonna be like that. So related sa reproduction, okay, reproductive system, something like that. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Starts with I will draw this in a square. Hypothalamus. Wow, hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is gonna be a part of the brain in the central nervous system, something like that. I cannot trace exactly, but it's in there. Okay. Okay, you get the point, because it will take a longer time also to draw, blah, 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 so and so. Okay, so what's the function of this hypothalamus? Basically, we're dealing here physiology, because we are stating the function, something like that. So what is a hypothalamus? Okay, a hypothalamus function mainly to manage the hormones. Okay, there are a lot of hormones in our body, not only limited to the sex hormones. There's a lot. Okay, because this is our topic, we need to focus in this hormone. Okay, you get the point? Like that. Okay, So where's the pencil pen? Okay. So first function is to manage the hormones. Okay, manage the hormones. Okay, what else for this hypothalamus? It tells us how our body works in the transformation in managing the energy from the food we eat. Okay? So it has to do something with the energy. If this hypothalamus don't receive the energy, then it cannot release hormones. So what are those energy? So we'll go back again to photosynthesis, something like that. And we need to touch that, in detail. That means energy coming from the carbohydrates. Okay? Because food mainly carbohydrates. Okay? So I already also discussed that, right, in last month, the photosynthesis, Calvin cycle, like that, okay, the biology. So it's gonna be managing the hormones and how your body, okay, work in transforming, okay, meaning to say not only releasing but also to transform, okay, transforming and manage talaga siya. It's not really that releasing, okay. So how body works in transforming and managing, okay, managing the energy from the food you eat, okay, from the food you eat. So you can obtain energy, and this is very broad. You can obtain energy by nutrients, vitamins, like that, okay, macromolecules such as carbohydrates, sugar, fat, like that, nucleic acid, amino acid, protein, like that, okay, enzyme, something like that, so many things, water, various chemical substances, like that, everything there, biochemical substances. This can create energy with their multiple functions in helping one another. They are complementary with each other, these substances I mentioned. Okay? And this must be completely balanced inside our body. Okay? You get the point? So that's the point. Okay, energy. And then after this, what is the hormones that will be released? So it will create a releasing hormones or RH. So positive RH meaning releasing hormone. Okay, the particular hormone will be this is a heavy medical term, gonadotrophin. Gonadotrophin. O diba? Nakakaloka? Okay. Like that. Okay. Releasing hormone RH. Gonadotrophin releasing hormone. O diba? Ang hirap. Okay. And then after that, it will go to this was very good, right? Pituitary. So the pituitary gland, what is the function of the pituitary gland? Pituitary gland is the sources of our hormones, okay? For the growth of our hormones and for the metabolism of our tissues, like that, muscles, like that, and various substances inside our body. Okay? It's gonna be like that. Get the point? So, responsible for the growth, okay, and the metabolism. Okay? So basically, related to hypothalamus, right? Because metabolism also is basing on the energy, right? But the metabolism is more on the metabolic cycle of breaking down larger molecules to lower molecules. And the larger molecules are basically the one I mentioned here, like the vitamins, blah blah blah, so carbohydrates, so many. And then it will converted to smaller molecules, which are usually waste products, toxins, okay, like that, and everything, electrolytes, like that, and then basically in the form of sweat, something like that, urine, like that, stool, like that. So this is the products from the metabolism. So this is catabolism, okay, meaning it's a type of metabolism that will break down larger macromolecules into smaller molecules or micromolecules or the waste products in various forms, something like that. So that's metabolism. Because the function of pituitary gland is for the growth and metabolism. Okay? So like that. And also anabolism, the reverse. Okay, anabolism. Anabolism meaning to say from smaller molecules into larger molecules. And this is the example. Because we are coming from the raw material cholesterol, and then it is a raw material, and then it will produce a testosterone, meaning it was being synthesized into testosterone, having our cholesterol as our precursor or raw material. Okay, so basically this flowchart is an anabolism. Okay, you get the point. So if the question will state in the future, will say, what are the two types of metabolism? Your answer will be catabolism and anabolism. Okay, and that's what we do exercise, because the type of metabolism we have on the category specifically is the catabolism, not anabolism. So meaning to say, we are using the general term metabolism, but actually it is not technically correct. Okay? The right term really is anabolism under metabolism. But since it's a general term referring to that, it's normally understood that it's gonna be the same. Okay, by layman's term, something or general in effect. But if you try to be in particular specific, that will become error. Okay? So it's okay because we are living in a majority, right? Okay, forget that one. Okay, we have the pituitary gland. After that, okay, it will produce, okay, the LH. Oh my gosh, positive LH. Okay, and then also the FSH. Okay, what is FSH, Sotero? FSH is the glycoprotein. Okay, glyco, meaning coming from glycogen. The storage house of all the glucoses in our body is a glycogen. Okay, so then the combination of protein. Okay, protein, right? What is a protein? Protein composed of amino group and the carboxylic group. Okay, to the point. Kaya alam mo siya, RNH2 and then COOH, like that. So carboxylic, carbonyl group, alkyl group, and amino group. So that is a protein. Okay? And then it's basically the building block of life, right? Protein. Just like building a house, a concrete house, or a church, bridge, or whatever. So the protein there is the cement, concrete. Without the cement concrete, it will not build as one structure. So the same also with protein. Without protein, we will not build as a complete human being. We will fall every time on the ground because we are not strong. Because it makes us strong because of the protein. That's why it's called the building block of life. Just like a concrete block. Okay. And that's very clear. Okay. Glycoprotein. Okay, mana siyang meaning niya? Okay. Stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone. Mana siya FSH. What's the function for this? This is very important also. What's the function of glycoprotein follicle stimulating hormone? Wow. So just like put that in that way. Capital G, capital F, capital S, capital H. Glycoprotein, okay. Follicle stimulating hormone. Acronym. Okay. I remember pala acronym of Lenny Robredo. Somebody asked Lenny Robredo, what is the meaning of NGO? Okay. And Lenny Robredo answers, okay, remember, non-governmental association. Is this a lawyer? Even though elementary student can answer that well, but she doesn't know that acronym represents the first letter in every word. Then how can be that way if that is the president? Right? No way. Talaga siyang diba? Napakalutang talaga, okay? Let's be honest and accept the fact. Okay? NGO, tapos the definition is association. Where's the A there in the NGO? Okay, and there's an evidence for that. You can click the evidence. And after that evidence, the kakapwits, the kakampiks, and the ones will always say that's not true. Even though there are already videos, how fool they are really. They're always asking for receipts, but the receipts are already there. They still question the receipts. If that is the case, we will never agree to some points. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, so glycoprotein follicle stimulating hormone. Di ba nakakalo kayo gano'n, di ba? Ang taas-taas ng credential at pinag-aralan tapos hindi alam. Okay, nakakaloka. Parang binayaran lang yung ano. Okay, yung pag-aaral just to pass, right? Kakaloka. Ay, nako. Okay, follicle stimulating hormone, FSH or GFSH, is responsible in regulating the gametogenosides. Gametogenosides. So gametes. What's gametes? Okay. Regulating. Okay. Regulating. Ganun mga palang akong sulat diary. Regulating the gametogenesis. The word here is gametes. This is a scientific term or a medical term, right? Or biological term, gametes. Okay. What is a gametes? Okay. It's gonna be like this, guys, huh? Every time you learn, you need to ask this term, but then ask this term, so that we can really cross-examine what's really is that particular term all about, so that we can learn. We need to understand. And if you read also columns, articles that you are not understanding, refer that to the dictionary immediately. If there are terms you cannot understand, right? It's gonna be the culture. In order for you to learn the vocabularies, the definitions, or whatever, the meaning of the term, then you have to go to the dictionary immediately without question. Do not let it pass. Okay? That's the technique also. Okay. So, gonna be like, what's gametes? Okay, gametes is a sexual cells or the reproductive cells. Okay, ganon. Or haploid cells. Wow, there's another term, huh? Haploid cells. So things like this. Gametes is just basically the same with sexual cells, reproductive cells, and haploid cells. Okay, basically these are all about the female sexual cells and the male sexual cells. But we are referring here for the men, we are referring to the male sexual cells, something like that. Okay, you get the point? Ganon, regulation for that gametes. Okay. Now, with the opposite gametes interact with each other and they will fuse meaning union or unite. So, it will create a fertilized egg in the ovary, something like that, and it's called ovule. Ganon. You get the point? So this can create now the baby or the infant in the ovary of the female, okay, of a woman, something like that. You get the point? So that's ovule because ovary is the venue where this ovule comes from, something like that. Okay? But it's already understood that the stability of your chromosomes are already stabilized. The 23 chromosomes plus 23 chromosomes is equals to 46 chromosomes. And the arrangement and pattern has already been, arranged properly with its corresponding DNA and RNA in it, the genetic information. Because once the infant will be born, it's understood that the DNA and RNA are already arranged properly. Okay, after the hormones are being stabilized, something like that. The deoxyribonucleic acid, which is DNA, and the ribonucleic acid, RNA. Okay, that's why the sperm cell is always the basis to identify the baby, who owned the baby, something like that, because this is connected with the testosterone production. And the people doesn't know, especially if you're not a science student or you're not a medical student, you did not know what is testosterone, right? So that's basically related to sperm cell. Okay, you get the point? Okay, ganon. And now, there's also another hormones which is with the pituitary gland. The first is follicle stimulating hormone, the other one is luteinizing hormone. So, what is luteinizing hormone? The spelling will be the same as lutein. Okay, lutein, meaning the protein needed in order we can see things around us brightly. Meaning for vision, clarity, something like that. And you need to have this kind of protein, lutein. Okay. Example for this, eating eggs daily ala tool. You will add the lutein content protein in your eyes so that you can see clearly things around you. And aside from that also, the carrots will also add lutein for that because of the presence of beta carotene, probiotic beta carotene, something like that, for clear eyesight. Okay, if you mean lutein for clean eyesight or clear eyesight, clear eyesight. Okay, that's a luteinizing action verb adding ing, right? So luteinizing hormone. So it will give clarity before it will become a testosterone. That's why it's a luteinizing hormone. Okay? Just like also the eyes, but in another perspective. Something like that. Okay? Not in seeing, but in the clarity of the color of the testosterone, like that. You know? How it appears, how it looks like, something like that. The rigidity of the testosterone, the fluidity of the testosterone, how it is really the turbid or not, like that, lapsaw ba siya, or sticky ba siya, okay, it's gonna be like that, okay, right, during ejaculation, you can determine that also, and it will came out to your penis, okay, the testosterone will be there, the white color fluid, that is testosterone, okay, equivalent to sperm, so the only thing, there's an additional little bit of binding androgen chemical for that, but it's just totally the same. Okay, because it will become automatic as a sperm cell during the chemical reactions between the binding androgen and the testosterone, right? Okay. So luteinizing hormone. Okay, what is the function? Nakakaloka. The function of this is to develop the sexual characteristics of men. So klaro kayo, develop the sexual characteristic of men. Okay, so without this hormone, so you cannot be identified as a male. Because it will help you for the male sexual characteristics. Meaning to say, if there are bisexual, something like that, or homosexual, they are lacking of LH, luteinizing hormone. And let's accept the fact, because that is a science. Okay, because based on the definition, develop the sexual characteristic of a man. And since this bisexual are in between, and this homosexual are girly thing, meaning to say there's lack of masculinity. So they're lacking of luteinizing hormone. You get the point? Something like that. And for girls and for women, the purpose of luteinizing hormone is to regulate the menstrual cycle. Okay, menstrual cycle. And also, it triggers the release of fertilized egg, as I mentioned earlier, ovule, in the ovary during sexual intercourse between a husband and a wife, or shall we say, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Let's take that way, okay? In general, man. Okay? You get the point. Something like that. And after that, it will create and produce into the testicles. Okay, testicles. Something like that. The testicles mainly found in our eggs. The men have 2 eggs, right? If you will now be naked now, see it, there are 2 eggs. Okay? These testicles are 2 eggs. The holder of the 2 eggs. Nakakaloka. Okay? And then, this is mainly the testes. Okay? The testes. Okay? The testes now will produce the androgen. Okay? Androgen. and will help also for the development of our prostate. Okay, that's why prostate cancer, it has to do something with the testes or your egg. Once it will feel pain, it has to do something with prostate cancer because by scientific definition, testes will produce the development of the prostate and the androgen. So it's very clear in our scientific definition. That's why if you feel pain in your eggs, like that, male eggs, like that, okay, that's already a sign that you have an initial stage of prostate cancer, or it could be a benign or non-malignant, okay, hydroplasia, okay, BPH, meaning to say benign siya, okay, dili siya cancerous, not cancerous. You get the point? Muna siya BPH. So, benign prostatic hyperplasia. BPH, meaning a prostate that is not cancerous, non-malignant or benign. Okay? So, that's why you will feel pain in the egg during urination. That's already a sign, especially if it will never lost every time you urine. Right? I already discussed the symptoms and signs yesterday, right? So, that's it. Okay. Now, after that one, so if there's a testes for men, the women also have the ovary here. Okay? And then after the testes, it will produce the, okay, what? Testosterone. Okay. Basically, the testes pala is the male reproductive organ. Male reproductive organ. Since testes also is connected to the penis. You get the point? So, meaning to say that testes really is the representative of all the penis, the eggs, like that, blah, 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 so and so. That's why it's called male reproductive organ or the gonad. Okay. Male reproductive organ or the gonad. So, meaning to say, the gonad is the male reproductive organ. And what is the specific organ? That is testes. Ganon. Okay? You get the point? So, muna siyang hitabo. Okay. After that, the testes will produce, from testicles, right? It will produce testosterone na siya, which already matched with our title, Production of Testosterone. Okay. So, this testosterone now is the male sex hormone, not an organ. There's a difference in definition because testes is a male reproductive organ or the gonad part. Testosterone is a male, okay, klaro kayo din, male sex hormone. Hormone, not an organ. Okay. Sometimes also because some will interchange that. Okay? That's the problem. Okay. Now, and the ovary for the women, they will produce also equivalent to the testosterone is the estrogen. Okay? Estrogen. There's also an egg cell that will produce an egg cell. Right? The estrogen will react to testosterone and androgen. Or the estrogen will react to the sperm cell. Okay? To create a fertilized egg inside the ovary of the woman. Okay? Get the point, and it will now creating an infant in the uterus. Diba? Okay. Ganon. Now, let's focus now to the testosterone. So, testosterone is also an anabolic, okay, steroid in male. So, we need to say pala, steroids, yes, these two are steroids. Estrogens also are steroids. Testosterone also are steroids. So basically, belong to the lipid family. Because as I told you, the raw material is also a lipid family or a fat family, mainly the cholesterol. Okay. Ganon. So, naintindihan na natin, di ba? Okay, now let's go to the leveling of the testosterone na. So, if we have the testosterone here, okay, like this, testosterone. Okay, this is a hormone, right? This is anabolic, okay, steroid hormone. Now, steroid, okay, lipid family. So there's a lot in the market for this. Okay, it's very, very expensive. So if you want to become a trans man, tomboy, then you need to drink this, or you need to intake in your body, and this is very expensive also, that's why. Okay? You need to only buy male steroid hormone to become masculine in the voice, something like that, and some of your gestures, it will matter also, but only secondary, the gestures and the actions, but mainly the voice and also the breast. Okay? Your breast will continuously reduced as you keep on intaking and putting steroids in your system. It could either be through intake by drinking, in capsule, in tablets, or by injection. You get the point? Two types. By injecting and by intaking directly to your esophagus. Esophagus talaga. Okay, you get the point? Anak siya. Okay, now testosterone, we have the less level and we have the more or high level. It's classified, right? Like that. Now, we have the average level. Okay. Average level and adequate level is the necessary testosterone that is necessary for us to have at least 7 milligrams. Okay? Daily ala tool. Something like that for the male. 7 milligrams. Okay? Per day. Something like that. Now, if you will never release this testosterone, problem also, because it will become high. Take note, it will become high, then the main cause of prostate cancer is high testosterone level. Meaning to say, those male people that doesn't masturbate will have the chance of greater risk of prostate cancer at the age of 60 years old pataas or 60 years above. That's very clear in our discussion. Okay, the male should have at least 7 milligrams of testosterone hormone, okay, every day, daily, ala tool. Now, if you don't ejaculate and release this during masturbation, then there's a problem for you in the near future. It will become so high levels of testosterone, which is the main cause of prostate cancer. Okay, that's why every time you go to the doctor, this is always the repeating cause. He asks you about this, and you're ashamed because it's too personal. No, that's the reality. You should be scientific. That's the world. You should be practical. That's gonna be the case. You have to tell the truth. Something like that. You get the point? And then the reverse also. If you keep also releasing all of your 7 milligrams, something like that, you have less testosterone, right? You have also developed also the disease called hypogonadism. Nakakaloka na, di ba? Hypogonadism and the functional testosterone deficiency. Okay, you get the point mga palangga akong hitad. So it's gonna be like the case like that. For the situation goes like that. You get the point mga palangga akong hitad. Okay? So, muna yung mahitabo. Okay. So, magbantay ta because less testosterone is not good also and high testosterone is bad also. Something like that. Okay? You get the point. So, any questions so far? For this, nothing, right? Okay, it's very clear. So, hypogonadism because you said a male sex organ is gonad, right? Plus, hypo means less. In vocabulary, English vocabulary. Hypo, less, hyper, high. That's why we have hypertension, high blood pressure. Hypotension is low blood pressure. It's only prefixes in English grammar, right? Okay. Any questions so far? Ganon. Nakaloka. Okay. So, let's touch another topic tomorrow. It's gonna be, we're talking about the central nervous system or the brain cells. Something like that for tomorrow, something like that. It's very enjoyable because we cannot imagine that there are also electricity in our brain cells. The electrical impulses will trigger our neurons, okay? It will trigger our neurons to react with the chemical messenger hormones in order for us to behave accordingly, something like that, whether we will walk, we will run, we will dance, we will sing, we can do our assignment in office, we can do cooking, we can eat, we can smile, we can drink, we can urinate, we can do anything because of the effective communication between our neurons and our hormones. So, meaning to say, they are more on the communication. Okay, something like that. Just like in a government, if there's no effective communication between the judiciary, the legislative, and the other executive department, then there will be no successful output for the progress of our country, or for the economic palaces, or shall we say international palaces, something like that, that they would try to create, because the congressmen will authored, right, and approved in the Senate, in the judiciary, and the last will approve it as the executive, the president or of the republic, something like that. So it's gonna be like that also, the physiology of our body, the functions, and we will be dealing with the CNS. CNS meaning central nervous system. Okay, any questions so far? Mga palangga, for this topic, we will never touch again this topic, just take down notes. This is very important for your husband, for your jowa, for your boyfriend, and for yourself if you are now, if you are a man watching now. If you are a female watching now, then you will advise your husband, jowa, okay, and your boyfriend, or kabit, something like that. Basta lalaki siya. Pwede ko basta bisexual, homosexual, basta na siya organ. Something like that. You get the point. Na siya male sex organ gonad. So you can share the information to them. It doesn't matter the sexual orientation or the sexual preferences, as long as there's a reproductive organ, male reproductive organ. You get the point? Kaloka. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. You can comment down below in the comment section. You can share to anybody else. You can comment also as you wish. And you can also click the notification bell for some newest updates of I Am a Singer. And then you can also subscribe my YT channel if you like. And I am very, very grateful to that if you can do that for me. Wow. Okay. So we will never try to force you. You have a full freedom for that. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Bye-bye. Remember that Jesus loves us, you and me, the planet Earth. Bye-bye. See you.